So when you guys think you got an excuse for not being successful, you don't. All your excuses are gone. Because there's people that have become happy, fulfilled, rich, and successful that are exactly like you. There is a science to getting rich. And what I want to do is make sure you listen to this one to the end, because there's so much information I'm going to pour out really, really quickly. One of the things about there is a certain science to getting rich is I posted on my wall, and I'm going to read this really quick because each post I put on. And it's the very beginning of each chapter. He was so concise in what he said. And he said, there is a science of getting rich, and it's an exact science, like algebra or arithmetic. There are certain laws which govern the process of acquiring riches and wealth. And once these laws are learned and obeyed by anyone, that means you, anyone, that person will get rich with mathematical certainty. Mathematical certainty. So, as you go through this chapter and you listen to it, let me tell you what this did for me, all right? And if you didn't get this, I hope you got it. But one of the things that this chapter did is it took away every flippin' excuse I had. I had no excuses, and I'll cover that in a second, right? The other thing that it did for me is it gave me a clear path on how to be successful. And you're going to hear it if you didn't get it out of this chapter. So the first thing I want to do is tell you a really quick story. One of the things I've learned early in life is that if I mirror and match people, if I learn their success stories, that if I figured out how they did it in a certain way, you're going to hear me say that over and over again, is that they became successful. So how many of you have heard of Warren Buffett? If you don't know Warren Buffett's story, put in Warren Buffett documentary or just Warren Buffett. He's not only been the wealthiest person on the planet at some times, but I think he's consistently in the top 5 forever. I'd like to know. It's probably, years and years and years and years and years, right? So Warren Buffett, as he went out there and learned to make money, his very next thing that he did is he went to the library. And he found, listen closely, because you guys always hear where I got documentation beats conversation. He asked a librarian, and let's see if you would do this. He asked a librarian what book was checked out the most and read for investors. Have you ever thought about going to a library and saying, listen, I know there's a lot of books on a lot of stuff, right? But what is the most checked out book? What is the most purchased book? Because doesn't that make sense, right? And so the person was Benjamin Graham. If you guys went on Google right now, you guys know I love documentation. So if you go on and put in Google, if you put Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham shows up right away. Now, the one thing that Warren Buffett immediately did when he could afford to is he enrolled in Columbia Business School. Why do you think he enrolled in Columbia Business School? Because that's what Benjamin Graham did. He also did it because Benjamin Graham, just like Warren Buffett is today, stayed in Columbia, did all his investing there, didn't have to go to Wall Street and New York. He stayed in Columbia. Warren Buffett still lives in the house that he first purchased with him and his wife years and years ago, and still lives in Omaha, Nebraska. Does all his investings there. If you want to meet him, you come there. Watch how close people that are successful mirror and match and do exactly in a certain way, exactly the person that they learned from. So once he got enrolled in the Columbia Business School, he went to Benjamin Graham and he said, listen, I would like to be an apprentice. Benjamin Graham said, listen, why would I get you as an apprentice? He said, I read your book. I followed exactly what you taught in the book. I'm 19 years old and I have $62,000 in the bank by following exactly to a certain way out of your book. Benjamin Graham not only not only made him an apprentice, but he hired him. He hired him. So if you go onto Benjamin Graham in Wikipedia, it says one of his influencers, people that he influenced, was Warren Buffett. See, I've always been fascinated with who the Yoda was. If this guy learned from who, learned from who, learned from who. So watch this. There's three groups of people in the world. One group of people in the world that are watching this video, even some of you watching this video and watch it recorded, you're just clueless. You know what I mean? You may never, ever get it. Because if you know everything and you're a people pleaser, you know what I mean? And you're not willing to follow other people and do what they do because you got an ego, edging God out, you're a know-it-all, this stuff is never going to work for you. Never. Right? And we got that second group of people that are always going to just fight. They're just going to do something different. You know what I mean? And then you got those people that say, hey, listen, I'm miserable. I'm broke. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I think wrong. So I'm going to find someone to mirror and match. I'm going to do exactly everything that they did in that certain way. And I'm not going to question it. I'm just not going to. So when you hear other people's stories, like someone like a Tony Robbins, right? And you listen to Tony Robbins and they said, what's your key to success? And he said, I followed Jim Rohn. I followed Jim Rohn for years and did everything in a certain way. And Jim Rohn says, you know what? I followed Earl Schoaf. I did exactly everything that Earl Schoaf did. If he had a morning ritual, I'm doing a morning ritual. If he had this time slot where he did this, I did that. If he had a job while he was building his empire, then I did that. Earl Schoaf learned from Earl Nightingale. And Earl Nightingale applied the principles out of the science of getting rich. Wait a minute. This can't keep going like this. Yes, it does. So when you find people and you look at people like myself, right? Myself, I learned from a guy named Bill Gould. I wrote about it in my book, right? And if you go on, thelifemechanic.com, you'll get this book for free. How did I get this book? Become a best-selling author? I mirror and match somebody named Brendan Burchard. I paid him $10,000 and went to a 3-day course to learn how to make and build a Amazon bestseller book. That's what I did. So why did I follow him? Because he has a book called The Millionaire Messenger that is a #1 best-selling book. Duh. People crack me up. They go, this is so difficult. I don't know how it can be difficult. How can it be difficult? You're mirroring, matching exactly those people, right? So my mentor, Bill Gould, learned from a guy named Larry Huff and Larry Thompson. Larry Huff is no longer living. It was great to meet him. But my mentor could not stop talking about Larry Huff and could not stop talking about Larry Thompson. Who did they learn from? Jim Rohn. Are you guys following this? If you've heard of Bob Proctor, when Jim Rohn died, he had a tribute to him in not only Texas, but also LA. And you've seen, Jack Canford up there, Dr. Dennis Waitley, Les Brown, Bob Proctor, Zig Ziglar, and all these people that went out and really have made a huge difference in the world all come from a line of people, including Napoleon Hill and Think and Go Rich, that taught Earl Nightingale, and Conant, that turned around and taught Bob Proctor and Dennis Waitley. So I just want to share with you guys just a little analogy here. So if I learned from my mentors and then went to their mentors and then went to their mentors, see, I got to spend a lot of time with Jim Rohn, bought everything that he has, went over it again and again and again and again and again, and mastered it. So when I found out that Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill was actually commissioned by Andrew Carnegie, that said that he got his wealth out of this book, no brainer for me. No brainer. So the thing that you guys want to listen to is a certain way. So now what I want to do is shift gears a little bit, and you guys will get this. See, a lot of people believe that they're doing it exactly a certain way. And here's where it gets all the excuses disappear. The excuses disappear right here. There's people your age that are rich and successful and happy and fulfilled. There's people from your religion. There's people from your state. There's people from your country. There's people from your town. See, everybody makes excuses about, I grew up in adopted homes. I grew up in foster homes. I was, abused when I was a child. So was Oprah. Oprah not only got raped, but guess this, she had a child from a relative and then lost her child. So when you guys think you got an excuse for not being successful, you don't. All your excuses are gone, because there's people that have become happy, fulfilled, rich, and successful that are exactly like you. They come from every background that you came from. It doesn't matter. And so when you really think about this, well, okay, all my excuses are gone. What about resources? Resources. Broke people that have no money are happy, fulfilled, and rich. Ugly people. People that might have an irritating voice and laugh. Now I don't. Skinny people, fat people, every race, every religion. And see, it's your goal to find what you love in life and find somebody that did it in a certain way and mirror and match them. And what a lot of people don't do, I talked about the 3 groups of people that don't even know that this book exists. I share this all the time. I was with Eric Worre at a GoPro event, and he did a 6-figure summit. There was 412 people at that summit. And less than 1% of the people knew about this book, but all of them knew about Think and Grow Rich. I found that fascinating. Very, very fascinating. And so I was very, very blessed to be out of 412 people that had to document that they made over 6 figures. I was the second person in that room with the most lifetime earned commissions. And I'm not saying that to brag to any one of you. I'm just saying that it was important for me to master this stuff. If my mentors, Roger Penske and Bill Gould, if they made billions of dollars, then why not do that? Why not follow them and mess up? So the second group of people are people that they get it, but they try to do everything their own way. They don't follow a certain path. And a certain path is like a combination on a safe. Combination on a safe. I can give you the numbers, 17, 22, 41, 11. But if you don't know what order they're in, and you don't know if you got to go left, right, left, left, if you don't know the combination, you are going to work your brains out. And you're not going to get any results. You're going to be frustrated because you think that you're doing it in a certain way. You think of people that are successful, like the military. Do you think you get to go to boot camp and say, listen, I'm going to do it my own way? Get out of here. Get out of here. How about getting involved in martial arts? You get involved in martial arts, you pick a style, Taekwondo, like my sons did. They're black belts. I was blessed to be a black belt. And you go in there and they say, this is the way you do a kick. This is the way you do a kata. This is the way you do a pattern. And they mark you. You end up getting medals, which I'm so blessed. My sons have all kinds of medals, all kinds of trophies, all kinds of plaques. because you get judged on exactly the way and the timing that you do the pattern. You don't get silver and gold and bronze medals for doing it your own way. Did you guys get this? Oh, I just think I'll do this move and I really don't like that move. And I'm going to do this move a little slower. I'm going to do this move a little faster. I'm going to add in some of my stuff because I heard from this guy and this guy and this guy. And I heard from this girl and this girl and this girl. You go out and do it your way. You just don't, they won't even score you. Don't you find that interesting? So people that are mentors, people that are teachers, people that know how to, you don't become, because you go into being a professional basketball player, a professional baseball player, a professional athlete, and you learn from a coach and a teacher to do it exactly this way. You're making millions of dollars, and you go into a team and they go, this is the way you'll do it. This is the certain way that you do it. This is the way that we do it. If you don't, go someplace else. And that's the problem with affiliate marketing, network marketing, being an entrepreneur. Because a bunch of undocumented people jump into a business and copy a bunch of stuff that they don't know works. They're not doing it in a certain way. Some people are really putting a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice. And if you're not doing it a certain way, your results will suck. And then what do? You blame. Well, if I had money. No, resources are not the deal. There's someone rich in every business. Do you guys know this? Think about that. Every business, people go, well, maybe I'm picking the wrong business. Maybe you are for you, but there's wealthy people in real estate. There's wealthy doctors. There's wealthy lawyers. There's wealthy people that are affiliates. There's wealthy people that Mark Zuckerberg that knows how to use the internet. Start focusing on people that are documented. Got it? One more mirror and matching, just so I knock this out, get it down. Let's say that you met Warren Buffett when you were 13, 12 years old. Warren Buffett invested in his very first stock based on Benjamin Graham's book when he was 12 or 13. Listen, please, closely. Listen. If every time Warren Buffett invested in a certain stock and then sold that stock and reinvested in the stock, what if you mirror and matched everything he did? You invested in the same stocks at the same time. You pulled out of stocks at the right place at the right time. If all you did was just follow Warren Buffett step by step by step by step by step, do you need to be smart? No. Do you need to be talented? No. Do you need to be good looking? No. Do you need to be skinny or fat? No. Do you need to know how to do your hair? No. Because even if you had 50 cents and he was investing $5, or you had $5 because he invested 50, or you invested 50 because he has 5,000. You see what I mean? If you could just follow exactly what he did, where would you be today? Benjamin Graham's book is still in the library. No, you can follow someone that Benjamin Graham taught, Warren Buffett. So I hope that you got value for this. Make sure that you go back and watch part 2 and 1. This is part 3. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Have a blessed day.